Hi, today we're going to present you about the Monomyth, and our group is conformed by Giacomo, Georgina, and me. So first, what is storytelling? Storytelling is about telling stories in a specific way to engage our audience.
Now, there are different types of storytelling. One is the monomyth, that it comes from two words in Greek, mono, which means one, and myth, that refers to story. So together, you get one story. It is a template used to tell stories that involve a hero that goes into an adventure, then he's victorious, and he returns home as a transformed person. In a few words, the monomyth is a synonym of the hero's journey. The purpose of the Monomyth. It has two functions. One is a useful tool for writing and story structure, and also it is a guide to understand our own lives. People go into adventures throughout their lives, whether it's moving to a new city or becoming a parent. So people use it as a tool to accept failure and success in a meaningful way. In fact, have you ever related your life with Harry Potter or Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games? The type of audience of the monomyth depends on the movie or the literature, because people that like superheroes can go from 6-year-old kids to older people that grew up with the characters, like in the case of Star Wars. But in general, it catches the attention of young people and teenagers from the ages of 15 to 30 years old.
The monomyth has been used as a widespread template for telling stories throughout human history. It has ranged from the ancient eras, from folk tales, myths, and religious writings, to modern stories to which we all can relate to. However, it is mostly found in fiction, which means that the majority of stories that use the monomyth are invented by a person. At some varied examples, we have the Iliad and the Odyssey, even some parables of the Bible, Moby Dick, The Lion King, The Hunger Games, Matrix, Star Wars, and a lot more. It is important to highlight that having a story in line doesn't delimit what kind of topics we can address, but the way we address those topics.
Now I'm going to show you the 12 steps of the Monomyth. The first step is the ordinary world, and this means the hero's normal life at the beginning of the story. Step number 2 is the call to adventure. It's a situation happens that make the hero begin an adventure. The step number 3 is refusal of the call. The hero is afraid, so he refuses to begin the adventure. The step number 4 is meeting the mentor. The hero finds someone that gives him advice and prepares him for the adventure. Step number 5, crossing the threshold. This means that the hero leaves his ordinary world or the place where he lives and represents a big challenge for him. Step number 6 is test allies and enemies. Is a test of strength physically or mentally happen to the hero? He meets friends and enemies. Step number 7, approach to the most cave. Difficulty appears, making the hero to adopt new ideas. Step number 8, ordeal. The hero experiences a major obstacle such as life or death crisis. Step number 9, reward. After surviving death, the hero accomplishes his goal. Step number 10, the road back. The hero begins his journey back to his ordinary life. Step number 11, resurrection. This means that it's the climax where the hero must have his final and most dangerous fight. And the last step, that is number 12, is the return with the elixir. And this means that the hero returns home to his ordinary world.
Well, to end this presentation, I'm going to present a very popular story, which is The Lion King, using the steps that my partner just mentioned as a structure of a monomyth, with some variances, but still is a hero's journey. So, well, first, the ordinary world is when Simba is born and introduced to the Pride Lands. His father, the King Mufasa, raises him and expects him to behave as a prince that he would become one day. In the second place, we have the call to adventure. Simba disobeys Mufasa and ventures into the elephant graveyard with Nala, his friend, beyond the limits of the lands, and intercepts the hyenas. In the third place, we have refusing the call. Simba feels foul for the death of his father, who, as we all know, is killed by a buffalo stampede. His uncle Scar blames him and tell him to go away and to never return, which is something he does. Meeting with the mentor, towards the middle of the story, Rafiki turns into his mentor by suggesting him to return to the Pride Lands. However, Simba ignores him most of the time. In the fifth place, we have Test, Allies, and Enemies. Simba meets with Nala as an adult and discovers the importance of his absence in the Pride Lands. His new allies are Timon and Pumbaa, and he's aware that his enemies are Scar and the hyenas in the Pride Lands. Then we have Crossing the Threshold. Simba progresses and adapts to the new life with Timon and Pumbaa. In seventh place, we have Approach to the Aim of Escape. Is when Simba faces a dilemma that he doesn't want to return to the Pride Lands because he's afraid to face the fear of letting everyone know that he killed his own father. Or well, at least that is what he thinks. The ordeal is when Simba, Nala, Timon, and Pumbaa go back to the Pride Lands to take back Simba's throne. In this part of the story, Simba fights with his uncle Scar and defeats him. The reward, Simba takes back his throne and gets respect on becoming a good king of the Pride Lands. And to end the road back is when after the battle, Simba takes back his place upon the Pride Road and reaffirms his strength. Well, basically that was our presentation about the Monomyth. We hope you enjoy it.